Number one show at late night, nothing but illustrious guests. You know what it is.
That's right, you trash bags, you cowards, you know what I'm saying? Our next guest has gone from selling vintage jerseys from the trunk of his car to negotiating over $500 million in contracts. That's billions with a B, stupid. He's the agent for many of the NBA's finest, including John Wall. You know what I'm saying? Ben Simmons
and LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Please welcome the president and founder of Klutch Sports, Rich Paul. What jerseys were you selling, man? What vintage jerseys you talking?
Are we talking about back in the day when it was like the 4XL Dr. J joints?
I had everything.
You were selling the official joints, not the ones that rock to the club joints?
No, the official joints. But the ones you...
But you could, if you wanted to wear them to the club, you could. Well, like people hitting you up, or?
It was a lifestyle. Like I caught the whole jersey thing before Fab, before Diddy, before all those guys.
Gotcha.
I caught those guys.
So you was out there.
I was out there.
All
and
right.
what happened was, I went to the NBA store, and I saw the like a different jersey. I'm like, what's that? It's Oscar Robertson and Elgin Baylor.
Got you.
So I bought those, wore them home, and I got a crazy response like, where'd you get that from?
Right.
And me being me, I'm just like, oh, let me Google. So I don't even think Google was out. It's probably
Right.
AOL. So
hot boxes.
go in the little thing, and a store in Atlanta came up. But they had baseball and football along with basketball. So I'm like, so now I got polo everything, salt and pepper shakers, placemats, sheets, everything. I'm trying to find something different because we all look alike, you know, on the block. Everybody has on polo everything.
All around.
Right, so now I find this and no one else has it. So I'm copping. And then I called the guy one day and I said, hey, can I invest in your business? And he said, if you serious, fly to Atlanta. I flew the next day. So when I got there, a guy by the name of Andy Hyman, he had a store on East Paces Ferry in Atlanta, and we had lunch next door, and he said, look, I can't allow you to invest in my business, but what I can do is teach you the business and allow you to get the product for 40% off. And I said, come on with it.
Right.
And he said, only under one, I had to work in his store a weekend out of the month,
right,
to actually learn
the
credit
retail
cards,
right.
the whole thing. But that was okay with me because my dad had owned the store. So when I was 7 years old, I can play your numbers, pick out your cigarettes, even though we wasn't selling, the whole thing. So I was familiar with that anyway, and it just rolled. So I ended up meeting. So then when hip hop caught on, I was already out in front a few months and before the malls and everything, and so I ended up meeting a guy by the name of Big Rube, who was with Mitchell and Ness at the time, and I got so big from Andy. Andy had to put me with Peter, who owned Mitchell and Ness. So I went to like the Pablo jerseys. It was like crazy. So that was pretty cool.
What were some of the best-selling jerseys you had?
Definitely the Alex English Nuggets.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, the West Unsell Bullets was a big one. The Nolan Ryan Astros was a big one. When the Joe Namath Rams came, that was one that was crazy because I had that on Memorial Weekend one day, and I saw Diddy in the club, and he had it on, and he was like, how'd you know?
How's that feel? You see Diddy got his ass, he's like, take that.
Exactly.
Yo, take that jersey off, nigga.
And so, it was just like, it was
a moment.
It was and it just like, what happened was, so we got the Hall of Fame in Canton. So I would go to the Hall of Fame to learn the players, Tony Catadeo, Sammy Ball, because I'm trying to sell these jerseys to you, and I'm convincing you, it's $400. So it's like, I had to figure out ways to sell it to you to where you felt comfortable paying $400 to buy a jersey that you've never even seen this guy play and don't even know who he is.
Yeah, right.
So that happened, and then the whole pinwheel hat thing happened, and I kind of like combined the two, and then one day I was on a tour bus with Pharrell and Jay, and I had on the Oakland A's, the yellow one, and then Pharrell gets on the bus, he got the green one on, we both had on the West Indy Air Force Ones.
Right.
And that was a moment. We was at like the Sprite Liquid Mix tour in Camden, and that was like a moment.
West Indies Air Force Ones.
Yeah. It was crazy. And so I just had like all those moments. But then Peter told me he was getting ready to allow Majestic to license it. And I asked him, I remember asking him, what does this do to the business? And in my mind, it was gonna saturate it. Because now, the girls can't tell the difference between a jersey that's 125 and 500. Because the color combinations are the same. They don't know the materials. So I said, this is gonna be an issue. So then that's when I bowed out gracefully.
So that was that before, because you said Jay was on the bus. Was that before Jay changed
That was before.
Oh, okay.
He's like,
So you got out, that was like selling Bitcoin, like when Bitcoin was popping.
Yeah, Jay was still wearing jerseys when, and like all those jerseys that LeBron had was like, they was all flowing. So now he would get, so everywhere we would go, I would take my jersey. So when he wanted to work out, play against MJ in Chicago, I took my jerseys with me. So now it's Juwan Howard, Antoine Walker. So now my clientele just got, CC was in Cleveland, I think, then too. Like it just got, and so it was rolling. It went crazy. It was crazy.
Oh man.
So how'd you make the leap from there to representation and?
You know what? When I was in high school, man, I played ball in high school. I wasn't the best player. I was the best dressed player though. So it was kind of like traded in points for fashion. So it's like I might have had 2 points, but I got the.
It was flashy.
Yeah, it was all good.
But in the post game, you was the most fleet.
But I was a great practice player though.
There you go.
I helped guys get better, and ultimately I contributed to the team. So I feel good.
You were a glue guy.
Absolutely, and I'm not ashamed of it. It's good. A lot of guys can make a lot more money if they learn how to be glue guys.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That vet minimum is looking good, bro. You stupid, that shit is almost $1 million. Like, yo.
So I played, and when I was in high school, a lot of guys would come to me about, what should I do? And I just developed this knack for it. And I love the game. So it was easy for me. So when Brian and I met, it was easy. So it kind of transitioned. And once I got in the league, everybody in the league socialized with me. Even older vets that was vets in the league, Antonio McDyess, AI always. That's why when he did his Hall of Fame speech, he like shouted me and Mav out like, because as soon as he get to Cleveland, he would call me. If it was at Gilbert Arenas, it was with Baron Davis, and so I just was like, I could relate to players. We could talk the game. We could talk everything.
So you could do it.
Right, and so. When I got my opportunity, I just really zoned in and focused on it. Because I didn't know what I was going to do. I was juggling so many things. I was acting. I had a production company in music. I had, and then once I finally focused on it and knew this was really what I wanted to do, it just went from there. So my first 3 years in the business, I think I had 4 first rounders, 3 lottery picks, which was unheard of because they didn't even have to go to the building. Like the company I worked for at that time never even seen the guy. So they like, how the hell are you signing these players? You're not doing an expense report. I'm like, it's just, they were signing because of the relationship that we had. And I believed in them, they believed in me. And that's kind of how, when I decided to start Klutch, that was the thing, it wasn't going to be built off of anything but that mutual respect, as not just as basketball players and agents, but as men. And so I focused. That's what I wanted to build the business off of. And then my team, as we got bigger, when Fair came along, and Mark and different people came along, and we built our team, we stayed there. And so that's why you see most of the guys that are like, they're real guys. Like it's not just all basketball. It's a real thing, and it has an identity when it's hard to have an identity when you're a big company. But we have an identity.
Yes. You represent both JR and LeBron.
Yes.
So how was game 1 of the finals? Was that like, did you go in like representation mode, or was that brother mode, like, yo, fam?
Nah, because again, it's a real thing. So like, when you in the moment, for JR, it was very difficult for him, right? But when you really dissect it, there's a lot of things that took place to where that shouldn't even been an issue. So my thing to him was the only way to, turn the radio off is to win. And so everyone had a letdown in that game. It wasn't just JR. Everyone 1 through 15 on the team and also on the coaching staff as well. If they go back and look and say, if we can have these 2 minutes back, I can guarantee you everyone would have done something different.
Right.
So, because on the flip side, if you watch the year they won it, you know, JR was very responsible for getting them back in the game in the third quarter. And even when LeBron got the block on Iguodala, if JR fouls him, not realizing that LeBron is on the chase down, he goes to the line. And the fact that he just had him to double pump to allow the catch.
Right.
So, you know, look,
things.
you gotta take the bitter with the sweet sometimes.
Yeah,
right.
And I try to always, basketball is one thing, but I try to always relate it to life. So, you know, you have to take the bitter with the sweet. I think JR will learn from that moment, and that's not his career.
Yeah,
nah.
that'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
He'll do
Is it
fine.
easier when the players you represent are on the same team?
In terms of what, just like service?
Yeah, service, because now like you could just visit both of them at the same time, or like.
Yeah, but everyone's different.
Right.
You know, you have some players who, like, I mean, I talk to some guys like 3, 4, 5 times a day. And then you have some players who, you know, just like they find once a week. You know, when you have a genuine relationship, you don't really have to worry about following a guy around. They know what it is. If you need something, we're here 24/7, 365. As it pertains to your business, at such time, if we're in a contract negotiation, things like that, prep them, talk to them, you know, as it, like Miles is here now, as it pertains to the draft, we talk all through his preparation. That way, it's no surprises.
Right.
And I don't really sell anything like, I guarantee you go this pick, or, you know, nah, man, like, you get drafted, you know, because I'm not picking you. So we do our job. You're in shape. You had your workouts. Your background check came back perfect. All that's good. Now they have to do their job.
Right.
And wherever you land, you know, you put the work in, you be professional, and you got 2 years to really put your stakes in the ground.
Right.
And then you got another 2 years, if the team picks up your options those next 2 years, to really position yourself to get the next deal. And a lot of times, you know, it's a lot of sell going on to our kids.
Yeah.
I decide not to do that. It's like, look, man, you gotta be fucking accountable, man. Like, this is not, you know, la la land. Like, you gotta come in, you gotta be professional, you gotta work your ass off. And if you're not gonna do that, let me know, so we can both go our separate ways. Because it's not, I mean, I'm not here, you know, this is real. I don't waste my time
I'm not gonna waste
or
yours.
yours,
Yeah.
you know, so I have that type of relationship with the guys, and it's been great. You know, sometimes guys come and go, and you wish those that go, you wish them the best of luck, wish you could have done more for them. But for those that you know, you have that longevity with, it becomes more than just player agent. Like, I've been in, you know, Eric Bledsoe's wedding.
Right.
You know, he went from not knowing if he could even play in the NBA to, you know, he's a real guy. You know, and different guys, you go grow really close with all of them and their families. So it's an extension. So I'm blessed to be in that position. But I don't do it by myself. I got an unbelievable team that works with me. A lot of days I don't even feel like I'm the boss. I'm being bossed around and moved around, but it's all good. It's
But
great.
you set the tone though, yo, we're gonna have personal relationships with all our clients.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be like just crunching numbers and like, yo, you gotta be here then.
Because you got to understand, like, most athletes have been in a yes environment since they was in the 7th grade.
Yeah, yo, you the man, yo, you got, yeah.
And you just move them along, and I try to explain to them, life isn't like that though. And so you play in an NBA world, in that bubble, right, where everything goes your way. But then once you step outside that bubble, it's a totally different life. So
Right.
I'm not for creating a yes environment that's gonna hurt you as a man. Like, I just can't sit well doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not paying you, I'm not doing none of that shit. I'm not creating that environment. We're gonna respect each other, we both gonna work hard, we're gonna hold each other accountable. If I mess up, call me out on it.
Yeah.
If you mess up, I'm gonna call you out on it. We may agree to disagree, and we move on. But it can't, because it's is why guys are only considered athletes based upon the things that take place.
Right.
They're more than athletes, you know. So let's start understanding what's important in life, as well as in your profession. You know how you can. Like I care about what table they get at Mr. Child. I really do, because based upon if you're in the back corner and you don't see nobody, who knows? You may meet the the CEO of Smuckers may be sitting next to you,
Right.
and now that becomes a relationship. You know, so just a little detailed things. So we my guys, they understand that. Like I said, we got a good rapport, and it's great. I love it. I love every day of it, and I love to be in the gym.
Right.
Like I'm not one of them fake guys, just like, oh, I'm in the office doing fake work. No,
I'm in the gym.
I like,
Putting up 33
yeah,
pointers.
yeah.
All right, you were telling us backstage that LeBron's coming to the Knicks.
It's very good.
Verify that or no? Listen, I've been seeing some things on Twitter, and I'm just like, that ain't happening, my guy.
Listen, man, I have nothing but respect for the Knicks. My guy Scott Perry's over there. Steve Mills, I've been on a long time.
You gotta help us, man.
Unlike
help, bro, please.
Unlike most people.
I don't like
my
the
man's
tone of
right
the
here
sentence.
looking like.
No, listen.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'm a friend of Jim Dolan's. Like, I don't, listen, man, I have no control over who they pick in the draft. I have no control over where LeBron goes, whether he goes or stays or whatever his decision is. I don't know. At the same time, I do know.
Right.
But, we'll see what happens.
Would you ever take on a dude that you've, like, a young guy that you've been watching who's an undeniable talent? You see the talent, you see this dude is gonna be a star, but he's kind of a knucklehead. Would you take him under the wing and try to, like, turn him around, or would you just be like, yo, I ain't even gonna waste my time?
I've been in that situation before. And I'd rather not without having a conversation.
Okay.
Because I have to get you on record. First of all, I have to say, here's the things I think you need to get better at. And I have to read your body language, and we have to have a conversation. You know, as men, I have to look you in your eye to know what's going on.
Right.
And either you're gonna agree, like, you know what, man, I've been bullshitting a lot. Because, all money ain't good money.
Right.
And it becomes a situation where it's not even about the money, because when you work this business how we work it, you're a part of their everyday life. And so, no one wants to go to work and not feel good about being there.
Yeah.
And so I give all guys the benefit of the doubt, because I try to help people. Just like when I was growing up, people helped me. My father was unbelievable in helping me understand life and, the principles and ethics and things like that. So, yes, I want to help them as people first, but you also got to want to help yourself. And so, if it's a situation where, yeah, he's a $200 million player, but, maybe he want me to cut my fee, or maybe he want me to, nah, then you're not for us.
Right, okay.
No. And I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. I don't have no problems.
What TV show is most like your life? You feel like? Is there any show? Is it R-list? Is it?
'Cause I was gonna ask
Oh, you talking about as an agent or as a person?
As an agent. No, not as a person. I'm not trying to get.
I was gonna ask you which character on Survivor's Remorse is based on you. You know what
Kind
I'm
of a tweener. Kind of a tweener with his cousin.
saying?
Yeah, cause he kind of plays the agent role, kind of. But I'm more than just an agent, though, so
Right.
I don't want to just use that title just as an agent.
Right.
I mean, are the portrayals they show on the other TV shows, is that realistic of what the agent life is like?
Like Jerry Maguire?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of unknowns, man, and again, it's only you just have to have a real relationship, and you got to think the business wasn't like that. So the business was always set up agent, player, and somebody in the middle. That somebody in the middle never wanted a position, they just wanted to look like they had a position while receiving a small fee.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So now, because this person can't relate to this person, they know they have nothing in common, right?
Right.
And it's kind of like your doctor, right? I don't know what my doctor do. They may go to Nantucket. They're not doing what I'm doing. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
So you have no interest there. But the guy in the middle,
That bridge to
has an interest here, and then obviously has an interest here because he has to report back to him. I removed that guy.
Right.
Got you.
And so
Play both roles.
yeah, but that's my thing. Like you can't. They don't know what's going on. Like we don't listen to the same music, and it used to be like you can't be represented by a guy who looks like you. Okay, who listens to your music, who may like to go to the club.
Right.
But that's my life. That's my personal life. That don't mean I can't do business at a high level. Shit, I'm 37 years old. I mean, at the time I was 28. What I'm supposed to be doing? Sitting down having coffee, watching.
You're watching Charlie Rose drinking tea and
no,
shit?
I'm not. I like Charlie Rose, but I'm not doing that. but what happened was, so my thought process was to change that narrative, you know, and to work and have the results to where people can actually be comfortable with saying, you know what? No, it's cool. He likes the sneakers I like, but at the same time, he can go in there and help me, in my profession and represent me. And I've tried to show it time and time again. But it's a never-ending wall to climb. And I didn't come in this industry the conventional way. Like I didn't go to Harvard. I didn't go to, But for those that was before me, I tip my hat to them because you got to earn your stripes, man. Like you just can't, everyone wants to be me in year 16.
Nobody wants to be you in year 1.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
You gotta put that work in.
And so, but I do feel like I have an obligation to those that's coming behind me, like because there's gonna be somebody better than me. It should be. That's how it's supposed to go.
Right.
And I get kids that come up to me all the time and want to have conversations, and they always say, I want to be an agent. What should I do? And I always tell them, like, give yourself a test. Go to the local gym and see if you can spot the best talent out. Build a relationship with him. Build a relationship with his family. Those type of things. Or just take the mock draft and the year before and do it over the year and follow these guys and see, because it's not something you can just jump into, because at the end of the day you're playing with someone's livelihood.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very difficult. And so I just wanted people to believe that we can do the work.
Right.
You can do the work. And so when I jumped out there on my own, no one knew if it was going to work or not, and it's still a learning process along the way. I think our business changed so much. The game has grown. It's global now. You got streaming. You have the three-pointer where everybody wants to shoot a three.
Even if you're 7'8",
yeah,
shoot the three.
The fundamentals of the game is saturated every day.
Right.
So I try to instill some of those old school things back, because when I was in high school, we didn't see a basketball for the first 2 weeks.
Right.
You're doing the shell drill and different things like that. So
basics.
yeah,
Running suicide
and those
and shit.
things are important now. So it's I'm blessed to be in a position. I think that I'll have more and more guys understand the importance. I'm not gonna get every guy. I don't want every guy, by the way. You can't represent every guy. Like, it's just not gonna happen. I love the guys I got, no matter what.
You got a good team right now.
Oh, I got a great team. Yeah, great.
And I got 4 kids. They coming up. You know what I mean? Like my oldest is 7. So
Yeah, we'll talk-
Your oldest how old?
Ready,
7?
ready,
We'll talk about
They'll
that.
be ready,
We'll talk
they'll be
about
ready.
those later.
Listen,
That's not draft
I'm in the
job.
gyms early, man. I'm on a like.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
on a little tykes.
You know what I'm saying?
Rich Paul, what would you like your rainbow to say?
You know what?
Be any advice, like a joke, a pun, a hyperlink, a SoundCloud album?
I don't know. I mean, I think one thing my dad used to always tell me, and then my mom too, and like, you once a man, twice a child. And so, what I mean by that is, like, you're born a child, and you grow to become a man, and so the things you do as a man ultimately will reflect on what happens when you become that child again, when you get too old to
Take care of yourself.
take care of yourself and move
Gotcha.
around. That's probably.
That's a great rainbow right there.
Yeah.
Yo, give it up for Rich Paul. You
You
did
know
it.
what I'm saying?
Thanks for having me, man. That's great.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, do this again.
LeBron on the Knicks, you heard? You're watching the Desus Mero YouTube channel, stupid.
Click to watch more videos and clips.
Subscribe, please, please, please.
Click and comment.